forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based.
Hi everybody. Hi Seema, Mario, Princess. How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
And you're fine.
Wonderful. So, what questions do we have today actually? So, let's start with Seema. Let's begin.
Yeah, sure, Ranjeet. Today's first question is what kind of a publications, like for example, journals versus conferences versus the trade publication, are the most meaningful for EB1A? Can acknowledgements in a scholarly book or paper, like only the acknowledgement, not actually the publication, be counted towards the eligibility?
Well, I think it's a nice question and a very legitimate question, I would say that. But let's take the second part first actually. Can an acknowledgement in the scholarly book or a paper? Uh, I am not very sure what are we trying to prove here by just saying that somebody has written a book and somebody has acknowledged you, and acknowledged you for what? I mean, maybe you have furnished some data to him, some information to him, some research report to him, or somebody else who has written the book. Now, this would have a very limited credible value. Remember that, any evidence that you give for a particular criteria, it needs to prove three things: that you are an expert, number two, their expertise is beneficial to the US, and number three is that you will continue in the field. So that continuity, all the three aspects have to be there, and every evidence that you give has to be authentic, credible, and probative. Now, what is the probative for what? Probative of the first three things, what I said, that you are an expert and everything, three things. Now, here, when somebody is, let us say, Seema is writing a book on EB1A, and she acknowledges my presence, that, okay, Ranjeet gave me some information, she might have acknowledged for 20 other people. Now, what this really does not prove anything, actually. I would not like to kind of use this anywhere, even in the final merit determination. But unless and until the book is a bestseller, a Nobel laureate author, a prize winning, it depends on what subject, it is a textbook, you have contributed majorly to that, and you have kind of been a supporter for that person, the person has been your student, where your support is being acknowledged, I think that it would make sense. Otherwise, definitely I can say that this would be a very, very poor evidence, and with a very limited or nil probative value actually, so that this should not be accepted. I would strongly urge not to indulge this actually. So let's move to the next question.
Awesome. So for the next question, what are the most common mistakes people make when trying to self-build their EB1A case?
Okay, a very simple answer to this question, Princess, that what are the common mistakes? The biggest mistake people do, that they are focusing on their EB1A. And they are trying to fit themselves into the criteria for EB1A. This is the biggest mistake. You don't get EB1A because you fulfill the criteria. We have seen people even getting 8 criteria approved and still getting rejected. You get EB1A because you have arrived. You don't arrive because you want to get EB1A. As simple as that. While you can pick up a leaf, next week program also, how we position that is more as a transformation coaching program that puts you on a success path where EB1A should become a milestone for you. But that does not mean that you focus on your EB1A. The idea is to, this is called extraordinary ability green card. You take this as an extraordinary opportunity for yourself and to become the best version of yourself and then do it. One of the biggest mistakes, they think that EB1A is just another visa where you have to fit yourself into and get it. No, I think that's the biggest mistake. I would say we can go on this particular aspect, but I think you have to seek a larger purpose and larger goal. You have come to USA, you have come to with all your dreams and ambitions. What has been the greater purpose? It is to look for a bigger purpose. Because another aspect for EB1A is that focus on the criteria and focus on the knowledge what they are doing. EB1A you get not because of your knowledge, but because of the impact that you have created because of your knowledge. That's another major thing that one needs to realize, which people at times don't appreciate it, or they try to kind of do some kind of a quick fixing actually. And another last thing which I will say, that there are 3 dimensions of success for becoming EB1A. The first and the foremost is that you have to be an expert. Anything what we do should show that you have risen to the top of your field of expertise. If you're not an expert, please fix up, get knowledge, get textbooks. Awards, kind of doing some kind of a media is not going to show you that you're an expert. It just shows your ability. Remember one thing that I always say that being popular is not about being, an expert. Success is not a function of applause. It's a function of impact that you have created, influence that you have created in life. Experts are not about who is an expert. Expert is not somebody who just talks about a subject. If I keep on talking about EB1A, I do not become an expert, guys. I have to solve a problem. Experts solve problems. Then the question becomes that what problems have you solved as an expert? Is it how many people it is being impacted? That's the reason. The people maintaining this kind of focus is the right thing to do. Not maintaining this focus is a wrong thing to do. Simple. Let's move to the next question.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next question, kind of a piggyback from what you had just previously said. They ask, what are the first 3 steps someone should take to begin strengthening their profile for EB1A eligibility?
I think since it is focused on profile, I have only one answer to this actually. It is not about becoming EB1A, it's just a profile. Become an expert in your field. Try to solve some problem. So every article that you write, every narrative that you prepare, experts focus only on their expertise. Unless and until they cross a threshold. Experts, you won't see a renowned expert on something talking about superficial things about on social media or otherwise. They would just focus on their expertise and the problem that they would solve. You see, we had one gentleman, actually a software performance tester. Like he had just started from the scratch during his profile building actually. So I insisted that he keeps doing some, kind of events on LinkedIn. That was just one of the things. It's not about your EB1A. You don't, like every Olympic gold medalist, before he gets a gold medal, would have run at least 1,000 races. So here, similarly, when you do something for your EB1A, there might be some other 1,000 things that you might have to do. That could mean a LinkedIn event, that could be writing a post. How you do that is more important. In that case, that becomes your training ground, a prototype for your expertise actually. So what problem are you solving? That has to be evident in the whole thing, and what problem have you solved? Every paper that you pick up which possibly got a Nobel Prize, or a good article, a good book, you will always see that at a first order they would have solved a problem, at second order they would have created a pathway for new disciplines or interconnections to happen, and at third level there would be semantics, language, new theory would have been proposed. So that's the way how experts act actually. It's a multi-layered task. Everything what you do, it's like a singer. You take a singer, he sings for 2 seconds or 3 seconds, and you come to know that how much training has happened, years of training has happened for his place. That's the way I would like to say. In fact, the second dimension is understanding EB1A jurisprudence. You need to understand the law. And the third is you need to understand how to present yourself. If you are able to do all these 3 things concurrently, that is wonderful. Otherwise, I think focusing only on EB1A as a legal part of it and how to present yourself would be a very unwise thing to do. So let's move to the next question.
The next question is, I read that your program offers a professional transformation while working towards the EB1A. How do you define the core purpose of the EB1A beyond just a green card? And what transformation should a professional expect through the next league program?
I love this question because it is going into the core of the program and the core of the objective. Like, okay, fine, we are talking about EB1A, then where is the transformation all about? Now, let me start with this. Every petition that we have drafted, there has been a tremendous amount of learning for a person to make them succeed. It's not about you just getting EB1A. I think the real success of next league program is not going to be in the future how many EB1A achievers. So far we have already produced 52 right now, and we are yet to get some results, so hopefully we'll have more in the couple of months. But the idea is not how many EB1A achievers the next league program has produced. The real testimony is going to be what are this next league program EB1A achievers being or doing something beyond their jobs, beyond their success, and what contributions they have made to the United States. So tomorrow, possibly 10 years down the line, if we do an audit of all the achievers from the Next League program, we will see that, hopefully we will see, and this is a very calibrated conduct, that action that we are doing from our thing, and we are closely monitoring all our achievers also, that what they are doing in their life, in their professional career and beyond. And we want to make them become the best version of themselves. So when it comes to the transformation, it is basically limited. I will explain to you. You see, there are essentially 5 dimensions of growth, Seema. I think we have discussed this in the class also. The first dimension is you just meet the basic requirement. The second dimension is, which is akin to a second order, what you call that, it is akin to second order, the final merit determination, in which your national interest is seen. The third order is that what impact you have created in the system, ecosystem around you. Fourth is how that ecosystem has impacted other disciplines. You may be a software engineer, but whether that field, the work that you have done is kind of impacting something else also. And the fifth dimension is what is the legacy you are leaving behind. If something is written about your work 200 years down the line, what would be spoken about? Does it exist? Will you exist by that time? How many people in the history do we remember who have kind of 100 years back or 200 years back or 300 years back? Would your work have that kind of a sanctity? The idea is that transformation is an evolutionary process. It is not a one-time process that you join the program. The idea is to make you conscious of this and you to kind of get your EB1A by following a certain process, and in future you continue doing and adopt the same process and same method for other endeavors. Tomorrow you might be making an app. Tomorrow you might be dealing with running a company. You might be dealing with making a proposal. If you do everything the way you did your EB1A petition, you are bound to be very successful. That's the point. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, thank you, Ranjeet.
Wonderful. So what's the next question?
All right, so for the next question, I've been to several law firms to help evaluate my profile strength. What initial evidence or indicators do you look for to determine that someone has genuine potential to qualify before extending an offer into the next league?
Wonderful. It's a brilliant question actually, because this is again going to the core. One thing I would like to admit here, that when somebody comes to us, we don't evaluate a person based on his EB1A readiness. Okay, now let's say, for example, I will give you an illustration for this. When you want to join, let's say, defense services, or want to become a foreign service officer, or want to become a civil servant, you join a coaching institute. That coaching institute trains you for something, and then you join that forces, or you become that officer. When you join a coaching program, no coaching institute will establish or try to find out whether you can become a good officer or not. The idea is whether you can be committed to the process of becoming that officer. That's the whole thing. So similarly, when somebody comes to us, we just evaluate a basic potential in a person and the commitment that is required to make things happen for themselves. That's the only thing we do it. Now, we do this by 3 ways. Number 1, are you a professional? For example, how do you come on Zoom call? How do you kind of appear on different meetings? Are you well prepared? Are you coming on phone? Are you ready? Are you not ready? How you conduct yourself? Do you have a LinkedIn profile? Have you sent your profile? These are kind of things which give us a fair idea about your professional standards. Number 2 is that we always ask a pre-qualifying question whether you can commit 10 to 15 hours per week. And third is, are you coachable? Now, coachability is it may sound very subjective, but we have seen a certain pattern in all the people who have become EB1A achievers. I would have studied over 1,000 cases, met at least 100 achievers, 50 are almost from our own program. And we have seen certain pattern emerging. The pattern is that number 1, people are well prepared. They come fully prepared, fully kind of focused in what they want and what they don't want. Second is, they are very decisive in their decision making and incisive in their actions. They don't loiter around. They don't say, oh, I want to do research. I just kind of want to explore. I need to think. Because these qualities, because you can't try to be, want to be extraordinary and act in a very ordinary way. This is not going to be possible. People try to see, I'm wondering whether I'm taking a right decision to join the program. The idea is not to you have to do a basic homework, of course. Once you do a basic homework, you have to take a plunge, because out of 100 decisions that you take, definitely 20 are going to be wrong. The whole idea is that can you live with that 80 decisions will be right, but because of that, if you don't take remaining 80 decisions, you will never be able to succeed. So the third thing what we have seen is that people who realize that it's not about you trying to take a right decision, it's about you learning to take a decision and then making it right by your actions. If somebody follows these things, we have seen somebody who's a 26-year-old getting their EB1A. We got a lady who had joined us at the age of 26, somebody at the age of 29, and at the age of 29, 30, he becomes his EB1A achiever. Somebody who's a 50-year-old from India becoming EB1A achiever. So it's a matter of your persistence. While at the same time, we have also seen somebody who may be drawing $1 million salary, but still getting rejected. We have seen people coming to us. Even there was a gentleman who came to us with 3 criteria approved or 4 criteria approved, or even somebody got 8 criteria approved also and still getting rejected. Okay, now what is the difference between the two? Because it's a matter of, again, focus. It's about how you calibrate things, how you are willing to learn or unlearn. So these are the qualities what we have seen make a more probable case for you getting EB1A, rather than trying to fit yourself into a profile, looking at a LinkedIn profile or whether somebody can become EB1A achiever or not. This really would not help us actually. So I think I have tried to answer this question in a more elaborate way, and I hope this helps for all the people who are wanting to come on the call, because it's very difficult for us to assess you for EB1A, guys. The idea is to help you become EB1A. That's what we are here for. And if somebody feels that they are already there for EB1A, then this program may not be the best thing. Then I think one can go to a lawyer and do it. This we don't, as a law firm also, we won't take cases wherein the person would just like to file, because we take up cases only for the people out of all our, and we are very selective about it. So out of all our 52 achievers, I think we have taken around 25 cases so far, and all of them whomsoever have been filed have been successful, and that's the way we like to kind of operate upon actually. So wish you all the best. Let's take the last question now actually, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So our last question, they asked, what kind of public visibility matters most? Awards, media, conferences, or thought leadership?
Okay, I mean, this is before we even jump to the question that why you talk about visibility. If does your expertise warrant that kind of a visibility? That's the first and the foremost thing. I know somebody actually who was part of, in 2012, there is an agency in Switzerland called CERN, which had actually kind of discovered something which is called as God's particle. One of the gentlemen had reached out to us for his EB1A, and I personally felt that the program would have kind of helped him to go to the next level, but I think he was focusing only on NIW and EB1A. I felt that EB1A was the right choice for him without any effort or something. But if you Google his name, definitely on a Google Scholar you would see a lot. But in terms of visibility, I don't think people would ever have heard his name on what you can say in Forbes or New York Times or anything like that. How many Nobel laureates would you know even before they get their Nobel Prize? I don't think we try to Google them and then we try to find them what work they have done. So please understand that public visibility, again I repeat what I said, success and impact is not a matter of applause. I think my tagline has always been, I've always been saying that you don't have to be a celebrity, but your work has to be celebrated. So coming back to this, I think you may not get any award, you may not get media, or you may not get, yes, conferences, people do participate, but it depends on your field. And the last is your thought leadership. Yes, thought leadership is not something very abstract. It's a very big word. What is the thought leadership that you have propagated that has been impactful in the world? Thought leadership means that how would the world look like if you were not even born? That's the meaning of true thought leadership. Thought leadership does not mean that throwing up an idea on a LinkedIn post or making a YouTube video. I mean, at what stage that thought process has changed? I mean, we always talk about something called as a DISC WE matrix, wherein we talk about data, information, skill, knowledge, and wisdom. Are you just having a data which you are dispensing when you are talking about thought leadership? Are you giving information? Are you giving showing some skills, demonstrating knowledge? Okay, or you are kind of kind of dispensing some wisdom, which is very, very important actually. So you do, kind of when you do these kind of things, then it will make a difference, guys. Otherwise, I think we are simply wasting our time, and that's all I have at the moment. So, friends, I think these questions today were brilliant. Actually, I really love them. And if you have more such questions, please reach out to Seema, Princess, Mario, or I. If you want to join the next week program, please reach out to us, and we'll be more than kind of happy to kind of help you. And that would be wonderful. And that would be all for today. Have a wonderful day, guys. Thank you for joining us today. If you have any further questions or need personalized guidance, please reach out to us. We are here to help you every step of the way in your journey towards achieving your American dream. Let's connect and make it happen together.